Hey bitches, welcome back to my channel. It is currently 2:40 in the morning and our edibles have just hit, so I thought that we should sit down and react to some things that I have seen on the interwebs, on the Twitter sphere, on the TikTok sphere, or whatever.
TikTok sphere.
A lot has been going on overnight. I know yesterday we said that was gonna be the last video about Mikayla, Lashgate, Mascaragate, whatever you wanna call it, but it's like it just keeps going. Every day that you wake up, there's someone new talking about it. There's someone shading it. She's throwing shade even.
Girl,
She shaded Jeffree Star.
Spoon at this point. I am so tired of hearing about Mikayla.
Right.
Like, unless people are gonna hold her accountable, I just don't want people talking about her at all.
But before we get into that, I want to talk about Tana Mongeau. Tana Mongeau.
I'm kind of living for Tana lately.
I am too. Like, this new era for her is amazing.
You don't hear of Tana like
She's
in
hilarious.
drama. Like, she is like actually funny. Maybe Tana has matured, maybe a little bit.
I feel like she has matured a little bit.
Like, good for her.
So Tana was one of the hosts on the Steamies. The other one was Jeff Wittick and obviously Ethan Klein. Yeah. And there were a lot of questions that were being asked back and forth. At one point, they asked like why Ethan would never reconcile with Trisha. Basically, it's just some things you can never come back from in regards to him and Trisha.
I respect the way he addressed it. I don't think that he went over the line.
I don't think
Unless
he really
I
threw
missed
shade.
something, because you know there's going to be somebody.
I didn't watch the whole thing.
They're going to be like, oh, well, you missed it at 27:03. He was like, Trisha.
No, trust and believe, I did not watch that whole thing. The clips that I saw from it were from TikTok, but apparently the Steamies, they're live on like doing a live stream while it is. And he got Tana together, in my opinion. And by got together, not like come after her, but he asked like what was like why her and James Charles were no longer friends.
People just will never be able to see eye to eye.
Oh, have a great week.
Wait, what was the falling out with you and James? Or just him being a weirdo?
We were friends for a really long time, and like it's actually I had a friend over yesterday who was like referencing the era who would always hang out with us, and they were like it was so horrible to watch because you guys couldn't go 1 hour without fighting, like scream fighting. Like we would
Really?
Yes, absolutely. We
like
did not
getting angry at each other?
Absolutely.
What would he yell at you about?
Everything. And honestly, I will say at that time, you know, I was not as equipped in this influencer world, and I probably was late to things, and I probably deserved a
late at things? He would
late to things, or you know what I mean? I didn't edit a video on time, but it just would escalate so high.
Wait, you edited videos for him?
No, for me. Like if we did a collab and I was
getting
an hour
mad
later,
at you?
like, shit would just escalate crazy. We would fight absolutely crazy, and eventually it kind of just was a mutual decision that like this, and I'm sure he maybe didn't agree with things I did, but I also didn't agree with things he did that I would see, and it was just kind of a mutual.
Was one of the things you disagreed with sexting minors?
I never saw him sext a minor.
Okay, cool.
Some of the practices, we're just very different people.
Yes,
and
yes.
Yeah, you know, slay sister.
Sister Snap.
Yeah.
Well, that is very interesting. So let's
it's in the past. Now it's fun to make jokes occasionally. You know,
we love to
I'm no longer like riled up about it.
That's nice.
And he's friends with all my friends, so.
All right,
you guys.
Let's get to the winner here.
I do find it incredible that like of all the influencers who have been quote unquote canceled, I would find it hard to associate with him. Because he's like a serial predator.
All right, should we get to it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Should we get the winner here?
This shit is live.
And a lot of people have been wondering that because every time that I saw a Tana and James video, I was uncomfortable. It was like watching James with the Dolan twins.
They were like in
very
each other's
uncomfortable
faces and stuff.
Yes.
We literally, I kid you not, almost killed each other during this video. You guys are literally going to witness me and Tana live action
We
fighting.
fought in this video.
Stop.
Tana, stop wrinkling the foundation.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I literally think I'm so funny. You thought wrong. When I first met you, I was annoyed because you were like 3 hours late for filming. Nothing new, nothing has changed.
I mean, but I must have redeemable qualities because here we are being friends.
What else?
You want to know, like, one of my first videos that ever really did well for me was about Tana and James, and it was called The Gruesome Twosome. And
I think I remember this.
And I talked about their collab, right? Well, Tana and...
Where they were doing the makeup.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tana and James did another video, and they shaded me for shading them. Like,
well, they were fake friends.
They were. Do you think that Tana looks back at that and she thinks, like, what was I doing?
I think that Tana was kind of like, around the time that they were collabing those videos, I think it was kind of like a let's collab because we both have kind of like similar followers. Let's get each other's like names out there.
Yeah,
and now
it was very that.
Tana has matured from that apparently.
And you know, I had always heard behind the scenes too, through the grapevine, that that's one of the major reasons why James did not like Tana is because she was late to everything. And apparently James is one of those people that's very punctual.
If there's one thing you're going to say about James Charles, all the disgusting bullshit that he does, he takes his business very seriously.
He does.
But you know, when I say that, like obviously not so seriously because he's always sliding into people's DMs and like getting called out for
I guess what you lack.
You think that would like tarnish the business, but maybe it's helping him. I don't know.
I guess what you lack in one area, you make up for in another because he's severely lacking in that area.
Yeah.
You know what I really found interesting about all of that though is how Tana was friends with Gage.
Yes.
Like how that connection happened or where they met or where they crossed paths.
Tana was defending James in Dramageddon 2 and she was throwing shade at Gage, basically saying that Gage was a liar. So I think because in that clip where she was talking to Ethan, she said that some of the practices of how James would like meet men, because it was like right after the comment of like he was sexting minors. She said some of the practices she didn't agree with. So she probably looked back on it and was like, I was an asshole. All these things that James keeps getting called out for, they're exactly the same stories almost. So maybe I was wrong.
Maybe she
and
reached
now they're
out
friends.
to him. Maybe she reached out to him and was like,
know.
hey, I want to know this, like for my own personal reasons. Like maybe that's one of the reasons why she cut James off. Maybe James didn't cut Tana off. Maybe Tana cut James off.
I think that I just don't think that they were ever good
together.
But
you know that has to be kind of awkward though, at least a little bit for Tana, because she said that he's friends with all of her friends, so they have to run into one another.
You know that they're like behind the scenes talking shit about each other and it's getting through like the grapevine somewhere.
I'm sorry, but one of the like craziest, like most cringe moments of James Charles's career, other than him saying that he was desperate, was when he was at, was it a taco truck? How'd you find me here?
Oh my gosh. I was like, what taco truck are you talking about? It was during COVID. And he was standing at the taco truck with that big ass mask on, because this was around the time that all the influencers were getting dragged for not wearing the mask.
Except for Patrick Star, who wasn't wearing the mask.
Nikita have like, it was like something clear? What did Nikita have?
She
I don't
had
remember.
Like this little tiny, it looked like a Band-Aid.
She's like, like, looking back on it, it is kind of like funny that she did that. At the time, it was horrible, Nikita. How dare you? So there was the paparazzi that would follow the influencers around. So basically they picked up their phone and they called them and said, this is where we're going to be. Please come and like help us like do something for our career online. I can't think of what the paparazzi name is right now, but they found James at a taco truck in the middle of nowhere and they walked up to him and he's like, how'd you find me here? And he like, you know how they found you there. You called them.
That was like...
You literally text them right before they walked up to you. Like, hey, I'm over here with the mask.
I can't believe that I'm drawing a blank on this, because that used to be such a joke between us. When we'd open the car door and get out, it'd be like, hi, Javier.
Because Nikita would always be like, hi, Javier.
like, you guys,
where
let us know down below who it is. Yeah, does Javier still have a job? Are these people still like calling the paparazzi? Like,
I hope so. I hope Nikita starts calling him again. Where's she been? She's doing the OnlyFans now. She's got to get some promo.
I don't know.
Moving up from Tana and James and all of that mess over there, another OG beauty influencer has talked about this whole mascara lash gate. And I was a little shocked. I was like, ooh, are they dipping their toe back in the drama? So none other than Tati herself. So Tati uploaded a video about Lashgate and she discussed her feelings on everything. She didn't really like throw shade at Mikayla in my opinion, other than saying basically, you know, you need to be honest. Like that's your audience, like be honest. But she did take a moment to kind of throw some shade at that Mads girl. The one that was like, everybody lies. You can lie all you want.
Everybody lies a little. Your favorite influencer lies. Like,
and every influencer that talks about this, they all kind of just like say the same thing, and they should all be saying the same thing in my opinion is, it's not okay to lie to your audience. It's fucking bullshit that you think you can get on there to millions of people and be like, this is fucking amazing, knowing good goddamn well you're one, never gonna reach for it again. You're not even gonna look in its direction. It's probably gonna grow mold like Jaclyn Cosmetics in your drawer.
You know, I really just wish that Tati would have threw a little bit of shade. I don't think that she did. There's some people that do think she did, but the only shade that I saw was toward the Maddie girl. I wish she would have like kind of like pulled Mikayla through the ringer just a little bit, because if we're gonna have people speaking up, Tati would have been a voice that I would have wanted to hear from about this, to be honest, because she's one of the authentic people I believe that gives genuine reviews.
I agree, and she also brought up brand trips. You know, Tati, she went on a few brand trips back in the day, but she said that she never liked them. That her and her husband, they would always, like, when they were there, they'd be like, why can't we just, like, leave and go, like, on a vacation and do something we actually want to do, because it's like work 24/7.
Yeah. Do you guys remember, it was a really long time ago, and it was one of the brand trips, and, like, all hell broke loose, and Jeffree was arguing with somebody, and Nikki Tutorials was out there and she was like shaking her head back and forth. Do you not remember that?
No.
Oh my God, I've got to find the clip and see if I can show you. It's
I do not remember that.
If you guys remember that, if you're OG and you remember Nikki Tutorials throwing that ass back on the dance floor and doing her head like this, like she's a rocker chick, let me know down below, because that is one of the funniest iconic moments I think I've ever seen in the beauty community with these brand trips that are going on. These new ones have nothing on the old ones.
Another thing that her husband brought up in the video was that, like, back in the day, Tati used to always use, I believe it's called Lash Paradise, and it's from L'Oreal. She would always talk about it. She would always hype it up. They never wanted to like pay her anything. It was never sponsored. She was just genuinely telling you that it was an amazing product. But later on, YouTube reached out to Tati and was like, you know, L'Oreal would really like to use these videos so they can make a commercial and like put it together. They wanted to offer her like pennies on the dollar to do so. Already after they got all that free promo from all of it, they still wanted to offer her pennies on the dollar. Obviously, these were clips that they thought were something and could sell something, and probably sold a lot of that mascara, but they didn't want to pay her what she was worth.
Yeah, like that's the one
Shady
thing.
boots, L'Oreal. We know you got it.
Well,
we know they do.
They got it now.
They definitely do now. You know, Mikayla has it too.
She sold it out.
Yeah.
Girl.
Mikayla's wedding is done, paid for. Like, it's in the bag. She
L'Oreal
has
signed the check.
custom Versace gown for the reception and everything. That's how much money she probably made.
Anytime somebody talks about like a Versace dress, it reminds me of Showgirls, where it's Versace.
Oh my God, I f***ing love Showgirls. That is so crazy that back in the day, that movie, it's very iconic, but that ruined that lady's career.
And I don't understand
crazy
why,
to me.
because like
it's a great movie.
It really is.
It is.
Like, do you remember what movie was it? Was it it wasn't I Know What You Did Last Summer, it was Scream, where he's like, what's your favorite movie? And that girl's like, Showgirls.
It's such a good movie.
It is.
Another thing that I saw on TikTok that really caught my eye is Jaclyn trying to rewrite history once again. I think this clip is like from a few months ago of Jaclyn on her Instagram story, but she literally tried to rewrite history in regards to those lipsticks, which I find very interesting now that all these documents have come out in Jen Love's video saying that they bought like 215,000. Jaclyn is trying to rewrite and tell everyone that only 2% of her lipsticks out of all of them were contaminated. But she then said that everyone else was lying. So according to Jen Love's video, Morphe ordered 215,000 lipsticks. So 2% of that would be like 4,300. So that's how many that Jaclyn was saying that people actually complained about.
That's a lot.
My question for that is, if it was only 4,300, why did everybody return their lipsticks and why did you refund everyone's money? Because only 4,300 out of 215,000, it could be a lot, but that's minimal in my opinion in the scale of we need to shut these lipsticks down completely.
And that's another reason why I think that this brand is going bankrupt. They filed for this, Chapter 7 bankruptcy, whatever it was.
Chapter something. They're restructuring.
The fact that they refunded everyone, like, if it was 4% of people should have gotten a refund.
Yep.
It would not make sense to, as a business, refund every single person. That cost that company so much money.
So much.
Because you have to think about it.
So much.
They were even refunding shipping, right?
Well,
they had to refund shipping.
Well, wait a minute. These lipsticks did only cost 96 cents to produce each. So how much money like were they out in regards to Jaclyn?
That's a good point. I didn't really think about that.
Because you know that there was not much like promotion for this, as with any Jaclyn launch, because she's still under the impression apparently that she can just pop up on the internet one day like, I'm having a launch, and people are gonna like go crazy for it. That's just not what it is.
Do you think that she misses the days of her prime when she was like doing the Becca and all of that
Well,
stuff?
because she's sitting there, because you know she says that she's at the older generation now, so she's sitting there in her old age, and she's watching Mikayla and Meredith Duxbury literally be able to do what she did. So I'm sure that now Jaclyn, who like still tries with her Amazon double dipping over there with reward style links and all of that, is very upset that the clicks and the views are not what they used to be, which means that the money coming into her pocket is clearly not what it used to be. And that's not a dig on Jaclyn, it's just the truth.
I feel like people have moved on past Jaclyn because she has done so much. Well, there are still people in the beauty community that were influencing then that are influencing now that still are authentic and didn't sell out. And they're much different than Jaclyn. And I think that Jaclyn Hill wants to regain that notoriety, that spotlight, but I just don't think it's possible for her. And that's why she doesn't upload. And if you look back at her channel, she was never really consistent with uploading anyway. It was always...
Because she didn't have to be.
But you know what really got me? Your support is going to mean everything. Like that to me...
That was for the jewelry.
That literally solidified for me what Jaclyn Hill was in it for.
Your support is going to mean everything.
That is such a weird thing to say.
It's so tacky.
Like, you're supposed to say something like that after the fact, not before. There was a lot of people that left left comments on my video saying that they had either interactions with it or it turned them green. There was one person that said that they wore it for like 2 hours and it turned them green. We'll pick you clean and turn you green.
So speaking of Mikayla, I really thought that yesterday was going to be the end of the era, but obviously we have Tati speaking about it, and Mikayla keeps coming with the shade. I just have to imagine Mikayla did not come up with this by herself. Like I don't believe that Mikayla was sitting at home and she was like, you know what, I'm just not gonna pay attention to it. I think that was like in her ear from a lot of people, like just ignore it, throw some shade, like give them what they want. She's feeding the girls.
Oh yeah, of course
she is feeding the girls.
I think that she probably caught up to her best friends and she was like, what should I say when I go back at these people?
Jaclyn.
I feel like that, Jaclyn or James. Jaclyn or Manny. I know that Jaclyn was probably one of them because Jaclyn sure did jump to her defense really
Jaclyn,
quickly.
from what I have seen, is the only OG beauty influencer that has not spoken up about this or thrown shade at her.
I've had so many people tell me that I should watch Aphrodite's video, and I got the TLDR of it. I just haven't had time to watch. But they're saying that he hit a lot of things on the mark, and that apparently there's somebody that Mikayla thinks is her friend that she's telling things to that is running and telling her business to other people.
So I would think that was
it's you, Jaclyn.
I would think it was Jaclyn, and let me tell you guys why I would think that would be Jaclyn, because I know people that have been friends with Jaclyn, and I know people that have done business with Jaclyn, and I just have heard from each person at separate times how Jaclyn is behind the scenes and how she'll throw this person under the bus, she'll throw that person under the bus, and it's like, wait a minute, you guys know. So I would tend to believe that is Jaclyn just from how people talk about her online, people that have done business with her, people that used to be friends with her. They all seem to have like a similar story when it comes to Jaclyn and how she would just talk about people behind the scenes.
Lowest common denominator.
Totally believe it would be her. Don't quote us on it, but girl. So we woke up this morning and none other than Mikayla had uploaded 4 more TikToks. I don't know if she uploads like 4 a day, just like every day, if that's like her thing. I never really checked for her before all of this, but she took some time to respond to Jeffree Star, and she shaded him. She said, you guys know this whole NFL thing that has been going on. Jeffree's with this NFL guy, allegedly. And a lot of people have been making up conspiracy theories that have to do with that. They're trying to out whoever it is, trying to guess, looking up everyone from the back of the head to the ears. Somebody made a TikTok, and they had a theory that it was actually Cody over in Wyoming.
Could you imagine?
Yeah,
girl?
they made a whole thing about it, and I guess that Mikayla saw it because her TikTok today, she said, guys, and then she went into how she's going to Wyoming right now.
Are you in Wyoming?
Yeah, for Glow Recipe. You guys know that Mikayla has worked with Glow Recipe in the past, and she said that she's basically going to make sure that Cody's not there.
Get ready with me to go to Wyoming. I gotta make sure my man's not actually there. You know what I'm saying?
Is she making a gay joke at Cody's expense?
Yes, you know what? I think that she's embraced everyone online saying that he's a homo. Thank you, Mikayla. Thank you. But you know what? Took the power back. She took the power back from it. So like all jokes aside about Mikayla, I have to appreciate this shade and going with the joke in this sense. This to me did not have the same feeling as yesterday when Mikayla came back. The elephant in the room thing for me was not funny. It felt like it had been rehearsed a lot. And it was not funny. Just as at the beginning of her video when she's like, I think we all know why we're here. It didn't read correctly.
Smug comments I think I've ever heard come out of her mouth.
I just feel like it didn't read.
She said some very right things about like that girl that was the waitress when she was basically saying fuck you and all that. Like she said some things that I thought were zingers, but like that was just downright smug in my opinion.
Yeah,
we all know why we're here.
So it is now 4:20 in the morning. I'm sitting here editing this video, and for some reason the final footage will not come off the camera. So I think I want to end this video by asking all of you out there, how do you feel about Mikayla's comeback to TikTok and how she's handling everything? Do you think that this is a PR firm that is working with her, that is saying, girl, this is how you need to do it? Or do you think that she is getting phone calls from like Jaclyn, James, Manny, or any of them letting her know like, we've been through this is what you need to do? I'm sorry that the rest of the video is not here. Hopefully y'all, this will be the final Mikayla video for a while. I know it has been a lot, but as I said earlier in this video, it's like every single day something new happens with her. She's shading someone, and obviously it's benefiting her, so why not talk about it? Why not throw some shade back at her? I don't know. Let me know all of your thoughts and opinions down below. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Bye.